Shell, your story is filled with brokenness, with pain. How have you been able to deal with that process of forgiveness, to claim your sense of peace even now in your adulthood?
Yeah.
Shan, it was the only way.
Wow.
Seriously. And I tell people all the time, you know, and even with my own experiences where I thought, you know, I did well by somebody, right? By my own son, right? As an example, I thought I did well by my son. And here's my son saying, I left him because I left him when I came here to live. But I didn't know that. I thought I did well by him, right? So here is he, you know, carrying this resentment for me because I left him. And here I am thinking, I left him with his dad and everything was okay. And then I took him in about 2 years. So there's no way he would resent me, right? So I have nothing to apologize for because I think I did the best by my kid.
Yes.
Well, my kid thinks differently, right? And so he doesn't know that I don't know what he's feeling. And so that's what I use to kind of learn how to forgive people. They don't know. They don't know what I'm feeling. They don't know if what they did really hurt me, right? Some people intentionally hurt people, but some people hurt people because of who they are.
Right.
And they don't know better than to behave that kind of way because hurt people, right? It's never intentional when somebody is hurting and in turn around and hurt somebody else because that's what they do. That's who they are. Because I'm sure I've hurt a lot of people in my journey, right? I am sure. But unless they come to me and say, you know, you did this to me, I won't know, right? And after I wrote the book and I talked to a couple people and this one girl that we used to work together and she read it and she came back to me and apologized to me and she goes, I had no idea I was hurting you that way. I am so sorry. I'm like, well, that's okay because she was just doing what she does and she didn't think I needed any, because I was hurting, but I was acting like I was okay, right? I was like doing my thing and, you know, I was kind of the supervisor at Half Moon and I was doing my thing, but I was in so much pain. So when they held their party and didn't invite me, that was another rejection story for me, right? They didn't know that. Right. How could they? Right. But I carried it.
Yes.
I carried it because I'm thinking this girl didn't like me and the rest of them didn't like me, you know? And so I was like, you know, whatever with those girls, they're nothing, they're nobody, whatever. And so when she read the book, she was like, oh my God, I had no idea what you were going through. And so from that, I learned to forgive. And for me, it's the most important thing that one can do for themselves. No, not saying that whoever I forgave, I'm going to have this hunky-dory relationship with, but I won't go to bed at night wondering why, and why me, and why they chose to hurt me, right? Because sometimes it's not even about me.
Yes.
Right? I recently got in touch with my mother and I was talking to her and she was in pain.
Yes.
She was hurt. She said she was hurt by my dad, right? And so her behavior or her action at the time, she was only looking out for her and her well-being. So she knew nothing more than to run away. Right? So a lot of people don't know how to face their pain and, you know, strong enough to say, I am not leaving my children. They think, okay, I gotta go, right? Because I'm going through all this. She thought my father didn't love her anymore and all that. And she just decided, okay, I'm gone. You deal with your kids then. Since I'm not good enough for you, I can't do these things for you. And another woman can. So you go with your woman and your children and leave me be. So all my years of thinking she just rejected me, but she was in pain when she did that. So I had to forgive. I had no choice because I am hurting. And the more you hurt, the more you pile stuff onto your pain because you're thinking all these people are out to get you or they knew what they were doing when they hurt you. And it's not true. It's not always true unless somebody deliberately get up and decide this is what I'm going to do to Michelle. And you know for sure that they decide at that moment that they're going to hurt you, then you can hold them to it. And then you can say, I will never forgive you for what you did. Right? But I was a teen. My son's father was a teen. My father wasn't fathered or mothered properly. Same with my stepmother, right? My mother was a teen mom. Her mom was a teen mom, right? And so it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. Yes.
And so you have to learn not to take a lot of things personal. People will say stuff, right? If you can at that moment call it out and say, I didn't like what you said, and get the person to apologize right away, then okay, then you will want to carry it to the next day. But if you're going to wait 10 years to go back and say, you remember when? What? How are they going to remember? They didn't even know that they were saying something to hurt you. They were just saying something, right? So deal with it right there and then. And for 10 years or 20 years, you're carrying this baggage and you add more to it. And sometimes you don't even, because there's so many things you add to this heavy bag. The one that started it, the first thing that went into that bag, you totally forgot what even made you put it in that bag in the first place and what it really is. So you're stuck with that thing. You don't even know what you're supposed to forgive somebody for, right? You don't even, and when you do look back, you realize, oh my God, that's nonsense. It's like, why was I even carrying this? Right? All these years, why was I carrying? Why did I hate my sisters? They did nothing wrong.
They did nothing wrong.
Why did I resent them? Why did I think, oh, they're acting like they're better than me? They were not. They were just being themselves. It was me who was dealing with my pain and my hurt. And from what I was feeling, I projected it onto everybody else around me because I'm thinking they too are going to hurt me. So I'm like, I have up this barrier, right? And I'm like, don't talk to me, I don't like you, or I don't need you, girl, whatever. So they took it for whatever I said, back off. And then when they back off, I go, oh, they don't like me?
They don't like it.
Prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Prophecy, yeah. So most of the time we do it to ourselves. So there's really no other way than to just let things go. And if you can, just, deal with whatever it is, with whoever it is at that moment. And that's why I realize it's really important to just let things go. And if somebody comes to you and say, Shan or Tam, what you said really did hurt my feelings, you should take that into consideration, because sometimes as human beings, we hurt even the people we love unintentionally.
Yeah.
We do, because we're humans and we make mistakes, And so that's where I am in my life. And it's the best, most peaceful, happy place to be.
It was really good just to sit here and just to hear your journey and your story and and everything that you've gone through. You've really even spoken to us and spoken to me even today.
Oh, wonderful. That's definitely my intention. I mean, I'm not much of a public speaking person. I talk to people through my writing and through my stories. And I know people have been reaching out to me a lot to do these interviews and all these wonderful things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not really what I wanted. But it's happening. And, when you put things out in the universe, it does come back. And so I put it out in the universe. I want to help people. I want to help women. And so the universe just sends things your way. And so my life is transforming in such a way where I didn't even know I could be in a place where I could encourage and uplift, other women, men, and my second book is on its way. And it's just amazing. The things I've been through, sometimes I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I even get over this hurdle? And somebody was talking to me this morning and saying, you know what, Michelle, you know what I admire? The fact that when you get up and you want something, even though you don't see a way for it to happen, you still go after it. And he was talking about this time when I was living here and I lived in a basement and I wanted a house. I didn't have money, right? Didn't have credit. I barely was working at $8 an hour job, but I would still go look at houses.
Right.
And I would walk around the neighborhood and I would look and just look at the house. I'm like, I wonder what house I'm going to live in. I wonder what my house is going to look like. I wonder what God has in store for me. And I would be talking to God just like that, because I don't believe in going on your knees and praying for hours. And I don't believe in that. I believe in being one with God, right? So you talk to him, you're like, God, is this house going to be mine? And where are you going to have me live, you know? And well, thank you, God, for this. And so just being one, and it feels like you have a relationship that way. You can talk to him and expect things and, know that it's going to be just fine. Right. As long as you do the right things. And it's very important to do the right things, because I believe whatever you give out will come back to you. Yes. So you do the right things. You be kind. You love other people's children. You can't save everybody, but you save as much as you can. Take one person, one niece, one nephew, one stranger, and decide, here's where I'm going to help. Here's what I'm going to give back from what God has given to me. Right? And because I took that journey, I've been blessed beyond measure. Sometimes I don't even know where things came from or, how I got to where I am. Sometimes I'm looking at my bank account and I'm like, how did I even afford this? What happened here? And I'm like, I don't even understand it sometimes. But the fact is, my mind is in the right place, right? I'm content with who I am, right? I understand that I'm not gonna be maybe not an Oprah Winfrey, and I understand that. And I understand that I won't be one of those intellectual speakers with a lot of big words, but I have my story to tell, and a lot of people want to hear it. Yes. So I don't inspire to be like that person. I just want to be me, right? And whatever it is that you're getting me. So if you like me, okay. And if you don't like me, okay. Also, right? And you have to get to that point. If you get to that point, I remember when I cut my hair off and I walked in the house and I have, my foster son, my son, and my boyfriend, and they all looked at me and go, "What did you do?" I don't like it. I'm like, well, good thing you're not the ones wearing it. But it took me a while to get there, because before I'd be like, oh my God, maybe I'd go buy a wig just to please the people around me because they don't like it. Yeah. No way. It's not about them. It's about you and, how you feel inside and, what you want for yourself and, how you want to be. And if it's too much hard work, if you want to get to this level and it's too much work, like it's taking so much from you to get there, you just have to know when to quit, because you're going to kill yourself trying to get there, right? Yeah. You just have to know when to quit and say, okay, this is where I'm going to be. I may not have a PhD, I may not have a master's, I may not have a bachelor's, I may not even go to school, but you got to be okay with that. You have to be okay with where you are, who you are, and just love on yourself, whatever that is. It may be just